Unbelievable. Hey, everybody. It's John Hope Bryant. I'm live with a new contraption. I'd say it's a Christmas present, but I've been trying to get it to work for about 4 weeks, so it's not a Christmas present. It's a, what's it called?
DJ Mobile.
DJ Mobile. It's part of our Hope Communications technology revolution to take us into the 21st century with the civil rights movement. It's in the suites, truly, not just in the suites, not just in the streets. So it's John Hope Bryant, founder, chairman, and chief executive officer. I see you all signing on. Hello. From Operation Hope, chairman, founder. I have to remember my title, chairman, CEO of Operation Hope. I'm so surprised the technology worked. Hello, Smooth Brother. Oh, hey, Lewis, how you doing? As you can see, I'm wearing a three-piece suit today. So I'm bringing back old school class. I'll let you see this. See that? It's a nice three-piece suit. There you go. Making smart sexy again. Hey, Brandy. Hey, Carmel. Finally caught me live. Yes. Antoinette Cox. Hello. A lot of you are on your way home from work, probably if you're on the East Coast. Andrew Shepard. Trent Branch. Good evening. So, founder, chairman, CEO of Operation Hope, CEO of Bryant Group Ventures, and author of How the Poor Can Save Capitalism and Love Leadership, amongst others. Let's jump into this because you guys have to get back to other things and hopefully get home to your family. So on the eve of this holiday, let's talk about how the middle class can actually build wealth and how the middle class actually do build wealth while having fun, and it is a secret that no one actually tells you. So how do you make $50,000 a year, $60,000 a year, $70,000 a year? You're clearly middle class, but you know if you're making that kind of money, you also have too much month at the end of your money. You know that that's not enough money to go on all your vacations that you want to have, to buy the boats that you want to have, to buy the, to have the camper that you want to have, and all these toys, the ATVs, all the stuff that you want to have. You know that that's not going to extend that far. Then you got to plan for your family's education, all that kind of stuff. So how do people do it? So when you're driving down the street and you see a Winnebago, you see an RV on the road, and you say, what's the assumption, by the way? I'm asking you. The assumption, I'll tell you what my assumption was initially. The assumption is that RV is sitting in that person's driveway 80% of the time, rusting, and then they use it 2 or 3 times a month, a year, right? They go out with the family. Meanwhile, it's like what you do with the what's that? The treadmill at home. You know, the treadmill becomes like a hanger for all your clothes. Okay, we assume that when people, yeah, you like that. People that the treadmill, you're not working out on it, using it as a hanger for your clothes. But we assume that the Winnebago is just like that. That they are using it for a couple times a year, and then it's just sitting in their driveway collecting dust. Not true. So there are companies that will take the Winnebago, the RV that you purchased, and rent it out to people like me, people like Jamie over here. This is Jamie, by the way, who is part of my IT team. I'm just showing off this technology as well. So they'll rent that RV out. So now you own it. You're a middle class person. You bought it. You financed it. And a lot of these big RVs, they finance them like their houses. They do not just 5-year loans, 10-year loans, sometimes longer than that, to amortize the payment. So you're financing this RV, but you're only using it 2 or 4 weeks out of the year. So you then domicile this, loan it out to this, not physically, but they market your RV to a target market that wants that kind of an RV, and they then earn money and they share that revenue with you, the owner. They are paying off your RV. Boom. So now you get a free vacation twice a year, because when you then get in your RV and drive to, the Grand Canyon or wherever you're driving to, you're effectively vacationing for free. And they're paying off the note on your RV and the insurance payments, and you're getting a write-off, maybe, if you do it really smartly, if you run it through your business. So it's all like everybody wins, right? And then your cousin Boo Boo can sleep in your RV when he don't have when he's been kicked out of his apartment, don't have a job between when it's being rented. It's in your driveway. We all have a cousin Boo Boo. Don't be embarrassed. Okay, let's now take mobile home. Boat houses and boats. Well, do you assume that the boat is just sitting in the driveway or in the backyard all year round? By the way, this happens, but it's very stupid when people do this. Being subjected to the weather, or just sitting out in the ocean, racking up fees. No, I have a friend of mine in Newport Beach that lives. Him and his wife live on a boat that's owned by a guy that is renting it out when he's not using it, which is most of the time, and they're paying his boating slip fees and his note on that boat, and they're paying it off, and he's getting, by the way, it would cost him a fortune to rent a condo in Newport Beach. It's a cheaper deal for him to rent this boat, like $2,000 a month, versus the $4,000 or $5,000 a month it would cost for him to rent a condo. He gets to live on the water, but he's also paying the note off on the boat for the guy who actually owns it. Did you follow that logic? So all these people with speedboats and with houseboats and little mini yachts, whatever, they're not letting that asset sit there. They rent it out 60% of the time. It's paying for itself. Let me take rental condos, a vacation home. So you have a vacation home, or a condo in Maui or in Hawaii, or you have a vacation home somewhere. It's the same concept, by the way, that when you're not there, you have a rental company that then manages that asset for you. They take responsibility for all the liability. You have to have insurance on it. You got to be current on your note, so you don't end up having it foreclosed while somebody's renting there. But other than that, you take pictures of it, you market it, and what's that? Airbnb is like a real riff on that. Airbnb rents out actually your house. So if you really hard up, this is like a software upgrade on rent parties. You wouldn't know anything about this. But my mother, your generation, but my mother's generation would tell you about rent parties. If you didn't have rent on Friday, next Friday, you knew you were going to have rent. You had a party this Friday. You invited all your friends, and you gave them a great party, food, whatever, and they paid you, the equivalent of $25 entry fee each. Well, at the end of the night, you've got your rent paid. And then Jamie, who also can't pay his rent because Operation doesn't pay him enough, Jamie can't make his rent the next month. So they organize the next rent party at Jamie's house. And they pay Jamie $25 a night. And because Jamie does such a great party, maybe he does 2 parties in a row. But the Jamie pays his rent, and then it just goes around from house. You guys need to try this, by the way. Tell all your broke friends who are good people, they need to have a network of rent parties. See, I'm giving you all kind of knowledge here today. So anyway, on a serious note, this is how condos, people who have rental properties around the world, this is how they pay them off. They market them through rental companies whose job it is to keep those assets in the rental pool, and who pay enough so that after renting them a third or half the year, basically you paying off the mortgage for the year, and the person can come in with their family and vacation there for free. So I've now given you a condo example, I've given you a boat example, I've given you an RV example. I've given you an Airbnb example. I even gave you a rent party example. But this is how middle-class people live an extraordinary life for modest income because they have financial intelligence. As my goddaughter Jade Howard says, John, you're teaching people through Operation Hope financial intelligence. We didn't get the memo. This is my next book coming out next year. The memo on free enterprise and capitalism. As Lenny said, yeah, get your hustle on, exactly. Maria says, I'm definitely passing on the rent party idea. Trent says, hey friends, have you done rent parties back in the day? Fun times, exactly. So look, you can do well and do good. Do well by doing good. Your life does not have to be drudgery. You don't have to sit and take it when poverty shows up at your door. You can fight back. You can become a civil rights leader. You can make smart sexy again. You can not be pimped by the system. You can understand that there are reasons why people are successful. And it's not just because they make money. It's because it's not about how much money you make. It's how much money you keep and what you are doing with your money. Or as we would say in business, if your outflow exceeds your inflow, then your overhead will be your downfall. If your outflow exceeds your inflow, then your overhead will be your downfall. All these folks driving around in these Mercedes with an 18% interest rate, a 25% interest rate profiling are just stupid. And I'm glad to say those examples were never me, But it could have been because I've made some stupid mistakes in my life, but I got out of them as soon as I could, and I'm trying to make sure you get out of being taken advantage of because you didn't get the memo on money, and then flipping that from not being taken advantage of, but then actually lifting up and uplifting the quality of your life through some very simple ideas and premises. You should be thinking about now. You have a house. Your kid's gone off to college. There's a room left. Rent it out to somebody. Now, don't rent it out to an axe murderer. Don't rent it out to some crazy person. You want to make sure that you go. In fact, you might even go through a rental company who will you guys like that, who screens the person to make sure they ain't crazy. Okay, you don't want a crazy person in your house blaming it on John O'Brien, but you want to have a proper rental company who screens these people, does a proper check, credit score check, background check, make sure they don't have any evictions on their record. And rent out that rent out that cottage in the back of your house, rent out that room in your home when your kids go off to college, then produce some income for your family, certainly if it has its own entrance. But you need to think creatively. There's two ways to make money: make more or spend less. And what are you doing to create a sustainable income in your life? So somebody's now saying, hey, man, I don't want to get no rental company part of my money. What are you thinking about? Look, I'd rather have 10% of something than 100% of nothing. I'd rather have 10% of something than 100% of nothing. It always kills me when these people are like, I don't take the American Express card. That's all I use, the Amex card, right? Because I love the Amex card because if you treat me badly, you give me bad customer service, I can have Amex just dispute the service and get my money back. I don't have to get into an argument with you. But people, I don't take the merchants. I don't take the American Express card. What kind of fool are you? So versus taking a smaller profit, because Amex charges a higher merchant fee than the other Visa and MasterCard to businesses. So wait a minute. Versus taking a smaller profit and moving the inventory you have on your shelves, taking a smaller profit from me and keeping cash flow going, you're going to stand on principle and say, no, I don't want no profit. I don't want to do nothing. I'm going to wait for the next customer to come along, and I'm going to get my profit from them. This is just not thinking very smartly. I'm going to leave you with this story. It's an analogous to this. This guy was stuck in the middle of the ocean. He had been stranded in the middle of the ocean. He said, well, God will find a way. I know God will save me. So a little boat came along, a little dinghy came along with one guy in it, and like just a half of a sail. And in the middle of the ocean, he says, you want to ride? The guy goes, no, I don't want to ride with you. That little dinghy is a death trap. This little piece of wood I'm floating on is more stable than that. God will save me. Go away. The guy goes away. He said, God, please save me. Then a tortoise comes around. And what does the tortoise do in the middle of the ocean? Hey, you want to ride? This tortoise speaks English. You want to ride? Nah, man, I don't want to ride no back of no tortoise. If I get on top of you, we may both sink. Go on away. So he goes away. And then the shark comes around. The shark says, you want to ride? No, I don't want no ride no shark. If I get a ride on the shark, you're going to eat me for dinner. I don't want to ride on no shark. So what happens to the guy? He dies. He dies in the middle of the ocean. So he gets to heaven. He said, hey, God, what's up, man? I'm your boy. I'm like your best man. Why didn't you hook me up? I prayed to God to help me help myself. I asked you for salvation to save me. And God, who's very patient, said, no, wait a minute now. I sent you a shark, I sent you a turtle, and I sent you a dinghy. And you said no to all three of them. God helps those who help themselves. Never look a gift horse in the mouth. It may kick you. All right, I'm out. Unbought, unbossed, unbiased. Straight, no chaser. The chaser, this is John Hope Bryant with the Civil Rights Movement, coming to you unbought and unbossed and straight from Atlanta, Georgia, in my new offices with Jamie here to make sure that I don't screw anything up with the new technology. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays, everybody. And we've got a few surprises coming to you here in 2017. We have a podcast series coming up on iTunes, so you'll be able to listen to this. If you can't watch it, it'll be scheduled. Where this is spontaneous, the podcast will be scheduled. So a podcast straight talk series, you guys like that? Oh, okay, you do. It'll be coming to you in 2017. Karen Anderson is going to be leading that along with Jamie. We have some dinners we're going to be doing with some of you around the country where we're going to feature, we're going to select some of you in a bit of an essay sort of a deal and allow you to have dinner with just me and you, and you can pick my brain all night. As long as you don't pick my pockets. Okay, I'm out. Love you.